Hello, guys. Welcome back. This is episode 34, excuse me, of Ladies First. I am your host, Amber Vickers. Let me take a sip of water. Seems like I have something in my throat. Okay, that's better. This is episode 34 of Ladies First. As I said before, I'm your host, Amber Vickers. We're going to get into some WNBA today. We're going to look at matchups, standings, things that are going on this week. And also, I'm going to talk a little NBA. The individual awards were announced today. The finalists were announced, as I shall say. And then I know Indiana and Washington are playing tonight for that final spot in the East. And then tomorrow night, we'll have Memphis and Golden State. I've been recapping games. I was up late last night recapping the game. I won't be up as late tonight. Whatever time Backstop Banter gets done, that's Connie and Michael. Whatever time they get done, I'll go on right after that to recap the Indiana and Washington game, and then I'm going to bed. These late nights have been killing me. I'm trying to go to bed as early as possible, but I know with the playoffs, when you play West Coast games, they are late. And for East Coasters and also people in Central Time Zone, Pacific Time Zone, you guys are fine. You guys are good. But I haven't been getting much rest, and I need to kind of change that schedule. I tried to take an adult nap today. It did not work for me, but I need some sleep so I can be able to function and be able to give you guys the energy you need on camera. Today, I'm struggling a little bit. I'm open and honest with you guys. Today, I'm struggling a little bit because I don't have adequate rest in my life, and I need to kind of find a balance. But trying to give you guys as much content as possible at the Unwrapped Sports Network. Perry and Matt joined me last night, and Michael, he was in and out last night as well. So we had a great stream. It was just too late for me to be up. Then I get in bed, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sleepy, and I tossed and turned. But anyway, tonight will hopefully be a better night for me because right now I'm struggling. I can't quite take a nap, and it's too early for me to go to sleep. I have games to watch, multiple games. I have to watch some WNBA action tonight as well. We'll talk about that. But before I get into all that, let's check out these sponsors. All your betting needs can be handled on mybookie.ag. All of your betting needs. Horse racing, if you like casino type gambling, if that's for you. We have that on here as well. Here's the sports book. It gives you everything you need to know. NBA odds. Of course, that game is tied right now. Memphis and Golden State, of course, and the playoffs start this weekend. So that should be interesting. The NHL playoffs are in full swing right now. The PGA Tour, I think the PGA Championship is this weekend. I'm sorry, PGA Championship. Of course, we got Major League Baseball. UFC has a fight, seems like every week. Horse racing is down here. Let me see, NASCAR. There's some horse racing down here too. MLS. There's a really big horse race this weekend. I think it's one of the Triple Crowns this weekend. Is it the Belmont? I think it's the Belmont that's this weekend. So if you're a racing fan, let's see. Yes, the Belmont is this weekend. So if you're a horse racing fan, this weekend is for you. If you're a golf fan, there's a major in golf being played this weekend as well. That is for you as well. So check out mybookie.ag. Use the code USN100 to double your first deposit. Sore aching muscles. This is the place where you can get something for those sore aching muscles. RxHemp.com. Use the code RxHemp/USN to get 10% off your order. We got warm and cool therapy. Pay attention to the dosage, guys. You don't want to keep putting it on if you don't feel it. Trust me, it's going to kick in. We have celebrity believers. Perry was he gave a testimony about it this morning rather. And it's made with all natural products. So you guys check out RxHemp.com. Use the code RxHemp/USN to get 10% off of your order. Also, we have Teespring, the Teespring shop. Teespring.com/store/unwrapped. I got my ladies first mug here full of water. It needs to have a couple of shots of energy in it, but that's okay. And then, of course, I got my ladies first t-shirt on. I'm going to show you what the back looks like, and it comes in multiple colors. But here's some OG gear. Here's some new gear, logo gear. We got the Friends gear. This is some more OG stuff. Come on, load. Oh boy, LeBron hit the game winner last night. Lakers fans are happy. Some more unwrapped stuff here for you guys. And then the live lineup gear. We got fights. We got Gen Z, Fourth Man Pod, the People's XFL show. This is what the back of my shirt looks like. It has the fro in the back with the LF in the middle, which is pretty awesome. This is the cup I'm drinking out of right now. Saturday Standouts, Backstop Banter. They go on after an hour after I do. Business Casual Basketball. Aaron, he usually goes on 2 hours before me, keeping it blunt. Prop Bros, and a Long Ball Lounge with Jesse. He kind of, whatever his schedule permits, that's when Jesse goes on. So that's our new show added to the live lineup. So check out teespring.com/store/unwrapped to get all your Unwrapped Sports Network gear. Last but not least, we are a part of the Patreon, guys. We are a part of the Patreon. So patreon.com/unwrapped sports. $1 a month, you become a fan, just general support. $5 a month, you become part of the family. You get 10% off that Teespring shop I just showed you and 24/7 access to our Discord chat. $10 a month, you become VIP. 20% off that Teespring store shop. 24/7 access to the Discord chat. Also, signed memorabilia. You get put in a running for signed memorabilia. We have Keenan Allen jersey. We've had David Montgomery, the Ricky Williams miniature helmet. This month, Perry said that he's trying to figure out what he's going to do this month. So check out patreon.com/unwrapped sports to support the Unwrapped Sports Network. Now, we're going to get into some WNBA kind of news and action and things like that. Now, here's what I didn't figure it out. I kind of guessed it. So the WNBA, we're in Olympic year, right? We're in Olympic year, of course, because we did not have Tokyo 2020 last year. So essentially, we're going to have Tokyo 2021 this year. And a lot of WNBA players, well, there's been quite a few that have been suspended because they're playing in 3-on-3. And then they'll go from, I think, 3-on-3 straight to the Olympics, I believe. Now, I'll keep you guys updated on that. But there have been some players suspended because of 3-on-3. There's been some players that haven't been able to play because of their international status, and they're still waiting to come to America to play basketball. So I just want to fill you guys in on that, because a lot of these games, you don't see players. You're like, wait, they're on the roster, but they're not playing. Yes, they're not playing because either they're 3-on-3 or they're waiting for their international status to be cleared. And after that's clear, you have to go through COVID protocol, things like that. A very odd year, to say the least, for the WNBA, just like all other sports. But I didn't know that if you played 3-on-3, then you couldn't play. And I have to get the rules on that. I have to get the rules of when players are allowed to come back from that 3-on-3. But I want to share my screen with you guys. I was just looking at the screen and not even sharing it with you guys. Here is the schedule for the weekend and upcoming. Okay, so I'll show you the schedule in winners from, when is the last time I did ladies first? We'll go Friday, May 14th. This was kickoff. So this was the kickoff. I haven't done a show since. Okay, good. Okay. It kicked off a couple of game winners. Sabrina hit the game winner against Indiana Fever. DT hit the game winner against Minnesota. Dallas had a huge comeback against the Sparks. The Connecticut Sun looked like they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And Atlanta just looked like they haven't got their feet yet. They haven't quite got their rhythm going. I expect them to get their rhythm going. Tiffany Hayes played her first game yesterday, so we'll see how that works. But the Connecticut Sun won. So your winners on Friday, we had New York game winner, Connecticut, Phoenix, DT hit the game winner, and then Dallas, the Dallas Wings. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people this season, and I really am looking forward to seeing how they play throughout the season. Candace Parker had a great debut with the Chicago Sky. They looked like the Showtime Lakers, the way they passed the ball. They beat the Mystics. Now the Mystics are missing Ella Deladon. She's not playing yet. She had the second surgery on her back, so I'm looking forward to her coming back. Seattle kind of ran through Las Vegas, but they got their revenge. But that was pretty much a blowout, and then Vegas kind of made it close. But Seattle was just too much. That was on Saturday. So Friday's games were great. Saturday's games were great. Sunday's games pretty good as well. We have the rematch between the New York Liberty and Indiana Fever. I think Lainey is going for the MVP award. She is balling out against the team that cut her. All right. The team that cut her 2 years ago, balling out like crazy. Love watching her play. That mid-range is so smooth. The Connecticut Sun beat the Phoenix Mercury. They are playing very, very well. Very, very well. That was on Sunday. So no games on Monday. So we jump to Tuesday. New York, the New York Liberty, New York basketball, it just feels great. Brooklyn's good. Knicks are good. The Liberty are good. It's just a great buzz in that state right now. It's a great buzz in New York. To be a New Yorker, CJ and Connie, to be New Yorkers right now, it has to feel good that your New York sports teams are playing well basketball wise. I don't know. I know the Islanders are in the playoffs for NHL. I'm not quite sure how the Yankees and the Mets are doing, and we'll see about the Giants and the Jets and the Buffalo Bills. But this New York buzz, I'm liking it for basketball. I'm loving this New York buzz right now, and it's great to see. But they defeated Minnesota. Phoenix defeated Washington. I think Washington will look like a different team when Ella gets back. And then Vegas got their revenge on the Seattle Storm. They got their revenge. And that was a pretty good game as well. All right, on Wednesday, Chicago got another dub. Candace Parker did not play. She had an ankle injury, and Quigley did not play either. Atlanta is still trying to figure it out. They're still trying to figure it out. Indiana took another loss to the Connecticut Sun on Wednesday. Today, we have one game. Seattle and Minnesota, one game on NBA TV, guys. Go check that out. Now, Twitter has WNBA games as well. If you guys want to know how to get to those, you just click on my page. I'll more than likely share the link because I'll be watching it too. And then Facebook Live has games as well. I don't have a Facebook, but I was able to watch it. Of course, you can get WNBA League Pass for $16.99 a month. It gives you all access. And then, of course, if you have NBA TV, you'll be able to watch games. Amazon's going to start showing games here pretty soon. ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC. So there's going to be multiple ways to watch WNBA action because see, on Friday, you can watch it on Twitter, NBA TV, Facebook, and the CBS Sports Network. Yes, and the CBS Sports Network. If you have Hulu Live, you have the CBS Sports Network. Just want to drop a gem for you guys because I was like, wait a minute, I want to watch, I think it was Minnesota. Who was it on? It was Minnesota in New York. I want to say, was it Minnesota in New York? They came on the CBS Sports Network, and I was like, man, I really want to watch that game. Was it? No, Minnesota and Phoenix. It was Minnesota and Phoenix because it was the second night. It was that Friday. And I was like, man, I really want to watch the game. Well, the first night, excuse me. I'm looking at preseason. It was the first night of the season. And I was like, man, I really want to watch this game. And then they said it was going to be on CBS Sports Network. I was like, I wonder if they have that on Hulu Live. And I did. I was able to watch a great game. DT hit a great shot. The end of that game was a little controversial. Just a tad bit. The clock stopped for a minute. And it had like 6.1 or 6.2 seconds on there. And people on my Twitter were going crazy. Like, why is the clock stopped like that? And how do they know how much time? And the announcers was like, just get a stopwatch and figure it out. The players have to warm back up. It just took too long. But they figured it out. DT hit the shot. Minnesota was not able to hit another shot, of course, as they won their game. But if you want to watch action tonight, you have NBA TV. Minnesota's out to an early lead against Seattle. That's shocking. They are your defending champs. Now let's look at the standings. There are a couple of teams that are undefeated. I think Indiana might be the only team that hasn't won a game yet. Let me check these standings to make sure that I am correct. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, there are 5 teams that have not won a game yet. And there are four teams that are undefeated currently. So still early, guys. Only 3 games have been played. Some teams have only played one. Let's see. Los Angeles has only played one. And Dallas has only played one. I wonder why that is. I wonder why, with only 1 game tonight. They must have a rigid schedule coming up. They must have they're must gonna fit some back-to-backs in there or something for them to catch up with the rest of the league. But see, Connecticut's played 3, New York has played 3, Phoenix has played 3, Indiana has played 3, and Seattle and Minnesota are currently playing right now. So that'll be their 3rd game. So I wonder how this whole schedule is going to work out. Let me see if I can see full schedule. I wonder when these Amazon games are going to start as well. Let's look at that and see when the Amazon games are going to start. If they will tell me when they start. ESPN3, Twitter, WNBA.com, and Facebook, Amazon Prime. Okay, looks like the first game will be May 29th, which is Memorial Day weekend, and that will be the Atlanta Dream and the New York Liberty. Hopefully Atlanta can get it together by then. I'm really looking forward to seeing them play at a high level. I think that's the first game. Yes, that is the first Amazon Prime game. If you have Amazon, you can catch you some WNBA action. That is the first Amazon game. And then after that, we get another one on June the 4th. Okay. After that, hope I'm not hurting you guys' eyes. We get another one on June the 12th. So it looks like every week they're going to show something on Amazon, which is great. Amazon signed that deal. I talked about it on the show before. They signed that deal with the WNBA. They're getting a lot more sponsorships. So hopefully more sponsorships equals more viewership, equals more money for these ladies to play, because they endure a lot just to play basketball, guys. They endure so much to play basketball. Before I jump to the NBA, Simone Augustus, I watched her. She did a little press conference about her retirement. The WNBA really didn't talk about it much. They didn't talk about it until people on Twitter said that, hey, you guys know that Simone Augustus retired, right? And I've been watching Simone Augustus since her days at LSU. She was a McDonald's All-American. We are kind of around the same age. I'm giving my age because she's been in the league for 15 seasons. I'm really showing my age. But when she was at LSU, Pokey Chapman was her coach. Of course, she played with Sylvia Fowles. I had to have been either I was in high school or early college when she was in college. I probably was in high school when she was in college. But I remember watching her play. I remember her telling the story about her dad teaching her how to shoot because her shot used to be so flat. He put on a bowling ball glove to help her shoot. I remember that story like it was yesterday. But I just want to say shout out to you, Simone Augustus. She had a great career. She said her body just, after she got through with training camp, it was a surprise. I woke up and I saw on Twitter, what, Simone retired? I was like, what? So it was a big surprise. But she said her body after training camp, it just could not, you know what I mean? She just wasn't quite where she wanted to be. And also she said she wanted to give those young guns a chance to play. And she said, man, I know I'll be taking minutes away from. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. But she didn't want to take those minutes away from the younger players for the Sparks, which was very admirable. And I commend her for that. But she has slid into that assistant coaching role. She talked about Minnesota. I'm not going to lie. I almost shed a thug tear when she talked about Minnesota. The Minnesota Lynx drafted her. She won 4. She was a part of their dynasty. She won 4 WNBA championships with the Minnesota Lynx. And it's sad to see her go because that's a part of my growing of basketball, understanding the game and learning the game. She was one of my favorite players to watch in college. I have 5 players I loved watching when they were in college. Maya Moore, Ivory Latta, Simone Augustus, Candace Parker, and probably Danielle Robinson. And those were probably my most watched players I watched in college. Either they were in college when I was in college, or I was in high school, junior, senior, and they were in college. But those are my top 5 college players that I love to watch growing up. And that piece of my teenagehood, I'm not going to say childhood because I wasn't a child, but my teenagehood / going into adulthood is gone because Simone is retired. Dan Robinson's still in the league. Maya Moore has chosen a bigger cause. Shout out to her and her husband. Ivory Latta is not in the league anymore. Let me see. Simone Augustus, Maya Moore, Ivory Latta. Candace Parker still doing her thing. I'm missing one more. Maya Moore, Candace Parker, Simone Augustus, Dan Robinson, and Ivory Latta. Okay. So that's 5, right? That is 5. Okay, I said all 5. Simone retired. Maya Moore is doing her thing personally. Ivory Latta is no longer in the league. Dan Robinson's still in the league. Candace Parker's still in the league. So I still got some of that teenage hood still in the league. But I just wanted to give her roses because she didn't get a proper segment. In my opinion. But I watched that interview and I'm really, really, really glad that she got to still stay in basketball and just kind of slip into that assistant coach's chair next to Derek Fisher. So Simone Augustus, I love watching you play. It's sad to see you go. But when your body taps you on the shoulder, when your body says, look, it's not worth it. You have to remember these women play 11 months out the year most of the time. And I know she took some summers off. I believe she took a couple of summers off and the Olympics. So you're not only playing during the season, but when there's a season, you have the Olympics during that season. So, and then you go back to your season. So it's tough for women. It's very tough, but 15 years is a long time. It's a long time. She spent a lot of those years with Minnesota. This would have been her second year with the Sparks, I believe. But a lot of those years were with Minnesota, and she won those 4 championships. So she's a champion. And Simone, you will always have a piece of my teenagehood. I just have to say that on camera and not get emotional because it is tough. I think the toughest retirement for me will be Candace Parker. Her and DT and Sue Bird will probably be my 3 toughest. When they retire, I might shed a thug tear. I just might do it. All right, let's look at some NBA action. Now, we've had some NBA news, right? We've had some NBA news. And the NBA news that we've had is some single season awards nominees. So we got some single season nominees announced for not single season, but individual awards. You guys know what I mean. All right. Individual awards for the NBA. We're going to talk about this, and then that'll be the end of my show, pretty much. I'm going to try to see if I can watch this game and get some rest. I don't know what I'm going to do because I have to watch Seattle and Minnesota as well. I'll be watching that I'm going to watch that on TV, and I'm going to watch the other game on my computer or iPad. So let me share this screen with you guys. The finalists have been announced. They were announced on TNT. I was scrolling through my phone. All right. MVP, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic. The Joker should win it. I said this last night. I've said it a couple of times before. The most valuable player to his team this season was Steph Curry. I get that. Dame made an argument for not an argument, but he made some good points about him and MVP last season. And the numbers he put up last season, he kind of compared it to the numbers that Steph put up, and then they were the same seed. So Dame made a good point. But Steph, that team is the 8th seed. They have to play Memphis to survive tomorrow, so survive in advance for Steph and company. They put up a heck of a fight against the Los Angeles Lakers, but it just was not enough. So shout out to you, Steph. Joel Embiid has been playing well. I think, honestly, if Joel Embiid didn't get hurt, he will probably win this award because of how he's just gotten in shape turned his body around, become more dominant. I think he probably might have won this award if he would have played those games. And Philly's number one seed in the East. Ben Simmons has been in and out the lineup. Seth Curry's been in and out the lineup. My dog barks. I apologize. My mom just arrived. So Joel Embiid has had a really great season. He wanted to be in the conversation for the best big man in the league, and I think he's accomplished that. Nikola Jokic does everything for Denver. He is their point forward. So if Steph is the most valuable this season, I think Joker is the second most valuable. He didn't miss a game this season, if I'm not mistaken. He did not miss a game this season. Either he didn't miss a game or he only missed one game. One of the two. But the Joker has been consistent all season long. You lose Jamal Murray. What are we going to do? That's okay. We'll just stay the number 3 seed in the West. So shout out to the Denver Nuggets, Mike Malone. Michael Porter Jr. has stepped up a lot this year. And then those pieces around him just work. He plays that point forward position pretty well for the Denver Nuggets. And I think he's probably going to win it. I know Steph's going to get votes. Joel Embiid's going to get votes. But I think the Joker is going to win it. He has my vote. Okay. Rookie of the Year, LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and Tyrese Haliburton. Tyrese Haliburton was unable to finish the season because of injury. Anthony Edwards was a little inconsistent at first. It's okay. He's a rookie. We're expecting that. But he started to catch on to the speed of the game, how to get his shots, the flow of the game. D'Lo came back. Cat was there. So you have to understand as a rookie how to get your shots. Because especially if you have two players like D'Lo and Cat. And Anthony Edwards, towards the back end of that season, I think from March and April, and of course they played a little bit in May, he started to understand that. And he started to put up really good numbers. He had some top shot moments. Like he had that dunk against the Toronto Raptors. That was ridiculous. Whoever got that top shot moment, that's going to go for a lot of money. But Anthony Edwards has really come on. I'm going to talk about Tyrese Haliburton and LaMelo Ball. Tyrese Haliburton is a guy I watched a lot in the Big 12 last year because he was an Iowa State guy. He was in and out the lineup because of injury. But a lot of scouts are saying, how is that shot going to work in the NBA? It has like a little hitch to it. It's a little weird, guys. His shot is a little weird, but he makes it work. Tyrese Haliburton, he makes that shot work. I really enjoy watching him play. I really do, because I feel like he brings a different type of pace to that Sacramento team. And he also, I think, led all rookies in fourth quarter scoring as well. And when De'Aaron Fox went out, he stepped up really big. Sacramento almost had a chance at that play-in, almost, but they just couldn't quite win enough games. They said that Luke Walton is coming back. I don't understand that, but hey, I'm not top management. That's not on me. That's on them. But Tyrese Haliburton, I'm looking forward to his sophomore season, and I'm hoping he rehabs and he should be back for next season. LaMelo Ball, I think, is going to win it, even though he had wrist surgery and he missed about 5 weeks. I think he's going to win it. I think he did enough to win it as well. LaMelo Ball is a guy that let me bring back up my screen share, guys. Hold on. LaMelo Ball is a guy a lot of people pegged for Rookie of the Year. I had James Wiseman because I thought in that Golden State offense that Steve Kerr was going to let him go. He kind of did, kind of didn't. It was kind of inconsistent. I thought he was going to be running rim to rim, and he would put up 15 and 10 every game. 15 points, 10 rebounds every game, because he run rim to rim, block shots, grab boards, easy putbacks. He worked on his jump shots. Jump shots looking a little better throughout the season. It looked a little better until he got hurt. His ball handling looked like he got better, but I'm looking forward to him next season. I wonder if he will be eligible for Rookie of the Year next season due to how many games he missed. But we'll see. But I had him as Rookie of the Year. A lot of people have LaMelo Ball as Rookie of the Year, and you have to understand why. The way I wasn't sure how he would fit into that Charlotte offense when you had Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham, two smaller guards that like to score and shoot the ball. But I think I thought about it and I said, wait a minute, they do need a point guard. I need a point guard. And LaMelo Ball was just that. He was that point guard. Had a whole bunch of highlights this season. Him and PJ Washington, him and Mikal Bridges. He just put on a passing clinic. He got better on the defensive end. His jump shot looks he got a lot more fluid throughout the year. He got more confident, I think, throughout the year. And then Charlotte made the play-in. They were actually a number 4 seed at one point. Then they had a little losing streak. Of course, LaMelo Ball missed games and things like that. But LaMelo Ball is my pick for Rookie of the Year. So shout out to you, LaMelo Ball. You deserve it. All right, let's go Defensive Player of the Year. Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green. I probably would have I had Bam in there, top 3. I had either Bam or Giannis, but that's okay. I'm cool with Draymond. Draymond did a great job on Anthony Davis last night. And then Ben Simmons. Let's talk about Draymond. Draymond is a guy that can defend, very versatile. He's very versatile. And I think he's underrated as a defender. I really do. There are not very many Draymonds out there. There are not very many Draymonds on the defensive end out there. Ben Simmons is kind of that Draymond a little bit, but I don't know if he could guard a 5 like Draymond can. I don't know if Ben Simmons could guard Anthony Davis like Draymond can. A, Draymond's a smart defender, and B, Draymond understands how to guard Anthony Davis. You have to understand how to guard the player in front of you, their tendencies and things like that. I don't know if Ben can. I haven't seen it enough, but I've seen it enough from Draymond. I'm not saying Ben can't, but I've seen what Draymond was able to do against Anthony Davis. And I'm saying Anthony Davis is because they played them last night and the defense he played on him last night against more versatile bigs. The Joker, he plays the Joker pretty well as well. If they win, he will be playing he played Rudy Gobert some. Derek Favors being as well as their 5 when Rudy Gobert goes out. But if Draymond's at that 5 position, Kevon Looney will probably play Rudy Gobert, and Draymond will play that 4. So their 4 is Bogdanovich, I believe. So he'll play defense on Bogdanovich. But when the Warriors go small and Draymond's the 5 and they bring in Derek Favors, he would play defense on Derek Favors. So I'm looking forward to the Rudy Gobert, Draymond, and Favors matchup. I'm looking forward to that if it happens, if Golden State's able to beat Memphis tomorrow night. Ben Simmons is a guy that he got that stamp in high school as the next LeBron, and he had a lot of pressure on him and things like that. He went to LSU for a year. People questioned his motor. A lot of scouts questioned his motor. I did as well. I'm not gonna lie. He comes into the NBA, not a good free throw shooter, not a good shooter, but he can get to the paint at will. And he has gotten better on offense. Defense, he has really taken a leap on defense. I love the way Ben Simmons plays defense. I just think in order for Philly to win a championship, he has to be more aggressive on offense. When Joel Embiid missed those games, he was aggressive on the offensive end. I would look up in the first quarter, he would have 15 points. And then Joel Embiid is inserted back to the lineup, and he might have 15 for the whole game. So in order for Philly to win a championship, you know what you're going to get from him on the defensive end. We need to see Ben Simmons be more aggressive on the offensive end. That's the only way Philly's going to win a championship. Because Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Thibault's a defensive guy. I want to see Maxey get some more minutes. Shake Milton, those guys can only do so much. You know what I mean? Those guys can only do so much. I think Ben Simmons has to step up offensively in order for Philly to win the championship. But I knew he was going to be top 3 defensive player of the year. I like this list. You could put Bam in there. You could put Giannis in there. Or you can put Bam in there. I mean, you could put either of those guys in there as well. But I do like this list. Rudy Gobert is probably going to win it. This will be his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award, I believe. This will be his 3rd one. The $200 million man for the Utah Jazz. Limited offensively. Very limited offensively. He's not as versatile as these guys on this list. If you put 5 guys on the list, if you put Bam and Giannis on that list, he's not as versatile as Bam, Giannis, Draymond Green, and Ben Simmons. Or Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis was healthy, he would be on this list. I thought Anthony Davis should have won it last year. That's neither here nor there. But he's not as versatile. He's more of a traditional big man that blocks shots. If you put him in that pick and roll, it does not bode well for him. So Quinn Snyder's going to have to figure that out, whether it's Valanciunas and John Morant, or if it's Draymond Green and Steph Curry, Kevon Looney and Steph Curry, how to not put Rudy Gobert in those situations, because he is not a guy that I want to put in pick and roll if I'm Quinn Snyder. Although teams are going to do it, I think Quinn Snyder is going to have the perfect rotation for that backside in order for Utah to be successful, either against Golden State or for Memphis, whoever they play next. But he's not as versatile. He's a more of a traditional big man. He grabs rebounds, he blocks shots. But on the perimeter, he's not as good as these other players, as Draymond Green, Ben Simmons, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, and Giannis. But he will probably win it. So shout out to you, Rudy Gobert. Shout out to you, Utah, number 1 seed in the West. If they make it to the finals, they got home court all the way through. So Rudy Gobert will be the winner of that award. Most improved. I like this list a lot. I thought Zach LaVine would be on it, but he had COVID protocol, so he didn't quite make it. But we had Jeremy Grant, Michael Porter Jr., Julius Randle. The New York Knicks getting a lot of love on this list, guys. The New York Knicks are getting a lot of love on this list. We're going to talk about Michael Porter Jr. and his evolution on offense. Denver's second best player this season, before Jamal Murray even went down, has been Michael Porter Jr. Of course, we know the Joker has been their best player. He will win MVP. But their second best player this season has been Michael Porter Jr. His defense, we're still working on it. I give him a hard time about his defense, but we're still working on it, Michael Porter. We're still working on it, okay? You can get better at that. But his offense has been amazing for the Nuggets. Now, the Nuggets do need perimeter defense because they're going to have to face Dame and CJ, and if Melo gets hot, he got Rocco. Anthony Simons has been playing well. So Portland's going to throw a lot at Denver. Portland's going to throw a lot at Denver in that first-round matchup on those guards. Michael Porter Jr. is going to have to guard, one of those guards maybe sometimes in certain situations. But his offensive game has taken a huge step forward. I'm glad his back is a lot better. I'm glad he's healthy. He almost went to the University of Oklahoma. He almost committed with Trae Young, but he went to Missouri, played a couple of games in Missouri, then he had that back injury. He fell in the draft. He fell because people didn't trust that back injury. But once he got healthy, people saw his potential last season, and then it kind of grew this season. He got more confident. So he has been Denver's second best player. They did pay Jamal Murray, but Michael Porter Jr. is coming. Jeremy Grant. I'll always have a special place in my heart for Jeremy Grant. A, he came to OKC as a pup. And B, I like the way he plays. Very quiet guy. Very, very quiet. Just goes about his business. The way he performed last year in the playoffs against the Lakers and against other teams as well got him paid. And he wanted to spread his wings offensively. I get it. I get why he left. I think Denver's a different team without him, because he and Torrey Craig is now with the Phoenix Suns, locked up their perimeter pretty well. And they mask that okay defense for Denver, because you had two guys on the perimeter that could play pretty good defense in Torrey Craig and Jeremy Grant. So you lose Jeremy Grant. He's on the most improved list. He improved last year for Denver. And then you got Michael Porter Jr. on the list this year for Denver. It's funny how the NBA works. It's such a cycle, but he put up good numbers in Detroit this year. Had some down the stretch, he had some shaky games, but in Detroit, he wanted to expand his game offensively. He has done that. We know what he can do on the defensive end. I'm glad he got paid, and I'm glad he was able to do that. The way he was talking to LeBron after those Western Conference Finals, I was like, what is he and LeBron talking about? I wonder what they're talking. They talked for a long time, and the camera turned away, and I was like, come on now. I wanted to see what they were talking about. I wonder what advice LeBron gave him. Because we know before anything, LeBron is a businessman. So he could have told him, hey, young fella, go get your bag. Or, hey, young fella, you ever think about the Lakers? But I don't think the Lakers could afford him because of the way he performed last season. So shout out to you, Jeremy Grant. Julius Randle, my pick. Julius Randle. Oh, my goodness. I remember watching him in Kentucky. And I remember him getting drafted with the Lakers. And they had Lonzo Ball. They had Brandon Ingram and Julius Randle. Then Kyle Kuzma came along. Julius Randle went to the New Orleans. Started to see his potential in New Orleans. He started to see his potential in New Orleans. And then he left New Orleans and he went to New York. And you say, okay, so what's he going to do in New York, right? He gets Tibbs, right? He gets Tibbs. I believe this is the second season with the Knicks, Julius Randle. You get a coach like Tibbs, and he's going to bring the best out of you. And Tibbs has done just that for Julius Randle. Julius Randle will probably make an All-NBA team. He should make an All-NBA team. When those are announced, I'll let you guys know. He has put in the work, and Tibbs has rewarded him by running the offense through him. I'm going to talk about another guy that's important to the Knicks here in a minute when I talk about Sixth Man of the Year. But Julius Randle has expanded his game, inside, outside, step backs, finishing around the rim. Left-handed players are very difficult to guard. They are very difficult to guard, but I know he and Anthony Davis were going back and forth, and he lost a lot, but he won a couple. You know what I mean? But you have to learn how to score against a versatile defender like Anthony Davis. You can't just go at him and bully ball and score against him because he's longer and he's quick enough to recover. So once Julius Randle knows how to score against those type of defenders, I think he's going to be great. But he's probably going to make third team All-NBA. I would vote him third team All-NBA. That's my pick for most improved player, Julius Randle. Shout out to you. Shout out to all the lefties out there. Got another lefty on this Sixth Man of the Year list. We got Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles, and Derrick Rose. Jordan Clarkson, we'll talk about him first. We got two Utah Jazz players on here. I said Joe Ingles will be on this list. I caught it on Count the Bucket, and guess what? He's on this list. He's been hot. Jordan Clarkson, one thing about Jordan Clarkson we know is he going to shoot the ball when he touches it. So Jordan Clarkson ain't never saw a shot that he don't like. I'm just from his Lakers days, he shot the ball. Jordan Clarkson was going to shoot the ball. And you're like, Jordan, like, what's going on? But Jordan Clarkson has done wonders for the Utah bench. And without Jordan Clarkson, Utah is not the number one seed. I don't care what you tell me, because his scoring off the bench has been very vital for Utah. Utah is one of the most efficient offensive teams in the league. They're also one of the most efficient defensive teams in the league. Jordan Clarkson can get you 40 off the bench at any given moment. I'm not saying he's Lou Williams. I'm not saying that, but that's very Lou Williams-esque. Because, Lou Williams could get you 40 off the bench any given night. Jamal Crawford, Ben Gordon, if you guys remember Ben Gordon from back in the day, they could get you 40 off the bench any given night. Terrence Ross, he was putting up numbers. I thought he would be in this conversation, but he kind of tailed off towards the middle and end of the year when they blew up Orlando Magic and said, look, Cole Anthony, this is your team. Jonathan Isaac, you're going to get better. Markelle Fultz, we paid you. So, Terrence Ross kind of fell off. But Jordan Clarkson putting up the numbers in Utah. He really is. Next, his teammate, Joe Ingles. Now, you're trying to figure out how are two teammates on this list for Sixth Man of the Year. It happened for the Clippers last year. They had Lou Williams, and they also had Montrezl Harrell on the list for Sixth Man. And, of course, Dennis Schroeder was on that list as well. Of course, Montrezl won it. I thought Schroeder should have won it, but hey, I'm not going to argue with the voters. But Joe Ingles, I didn't know if he'd be on this list because I thought he played too many games. Joe Ingles he's steady. He's a steady guy off the bench, steady scorer. If you can start him, he'll put up the numbers. You can bring him off the bench. He can put up the numbers. Joe Ingles has been an Oklahoma City Thunder killer, where he was a Paul George killer when Paul George was in OKC. He just could not get Paul George could not get Joe Ingles out of his head for some reason. But he's a lefty, and his game is very YMCA-esque. If you saw Joe Ingles out on the street, right, and in a gym, and you were looking to pick up somebody, you wouldn't pick up Joe Ingles, but Joe Ingles would probably drop off 15 on your head. You know what I mean? So I like the way Joe Ingles plays. I used to despise him when they used to play against the Thunder because he would just give us buckets. But lefty, shout out to you, Joe Ingles. He didn't know if he was going to play this season or not. He was kind of unsure of that. So I bet the Utah Jazz are happy that he decided to play. This is my pick, and this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but so what? If Derrick Rose does not go to the New York Knicks, they are probably not in the playoffs. They might be in the play-in, but they're not in the playoffs. Derrick Rose's impact on the Knicks has been beautiful to watch. We all want Derrick Rose to win. We all want Derrick Rose to win because Derrick Rose is that guy that people love. People love Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is probably one of the most loved NBA superstars you'll ever see. Probably one of the most, he's humble, he's quiet, he just goes about his business. He's a Chicago kid. Something about those Chicago kids. People love Anthony Davis too. He's a Chicago kid. People love D Wade, Chicago kid. It's something about those Chicago kids that, people love. But Derrick Rose's impact on the New York Knicks, he's reunited back with Tibbs, right? And he understands his role now. After those 2 injuries, he's had a little comeback tour. Some places it's worked, some places it has not. When he's with Detroit, he balled out with Detroit last season. But it seems like Dwayne Casey would put him in the lineup, not put him in the lineup. It was a little weird. It was a little odd there in Detroit. I'm glad he got out of Detroit. But he really unites with Tibbs. Tibbs said, come on, Derrick. I got Julius Randle. I got RJ Barrett. We drafted Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin. Come on, Taj Gibson. Come on. I can bring you back too. Nerlens Noel has been a great pickup for them. They got him from Oklahoma City for cheap. I'm going to show you guys how to play defense first. And that's going to win you ball games. You can score 95 points in today's era and win a ball game because I'm going to show you how to play defense, which is very unusual with the way that offenses score these days. But he bought Derrick Rose back and put him back in his system. So Derrick Rose knows how to understands his role in Tom Thibodeau's system now. Back then, he was MVP Derrick Rose. Now he's coming off the bench, Derrick Rose. He's my 6th man of the year. Clarkson might win it, but D Rose, I think he's going to get some first place votes. Last but not least, we got Coach of the Year, Quinn Snyder, Tom Thibodeau, as mentioned before, Monty Williams. Monty Williams has already won the coaches vote for Coach of the Year, NBCA Coach of the Year. So it's the National Basketball Coaches Association. Yes, he's already won that award. Let's talk about Quinn Snyder. Quinn Snyder. When Utah hired Quinn Snyder, right? People were like, okay, this guy, let's see. We don't know. We don't quite know about Quinn Snyder. But then Quinn Snyder started winning. And then Quinn Snyder understood how to play Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert together. And then Quinn Snyder understood what kind of system to run in Utah. Then he understood the fan base. And Quinn Snyder has done a great job with the Utah Jazz. Utah's number 1 in the West, number 1 in the entire NBA, best record. That's not a fluke. Top 4 offensive efficiency, top 4 defense efficiency. They can knock down threes like no other, and you do not want to play in Utah. Playing in Utah, Draymond Green and Klay Thompson talked about it. It's dreadful. It's very dreadful. And the irony, if Golden State wins against Memphis on Friday, they have to play in Utah. So that's the irony of the whole situation. But Quinn Snyder, wasn't on a lot of people's radar for Coach of the Year. But the way he has coached those young men up this season, I really have enjoyed that. Tibbs, good old Tom Thibodeau, the man with the plan on defense. What do you say about Tom Thibodeau? I can say a lot about Tom Thibodeau. People did not agree with his coaching style at first. He plays his players too long of periods. He runs them down. But he gets the best out of his players. Jimmy Butler loved playing for Tom Thibodeau, right? Joakim Noah loved it. They loved playing for Tom Thibodeau. Derrick Rose, he's back playing with Tom Thibodeau. Taj Gibson, he's back playing with Tom Thibodeau. So if Tom Thibodeau was not loved by players, then he would not be a coach in this league. When New York hired him, I think ESPN picked the Knicks to finish 29th. I believe they picked them to finish 29th. When the Knicks hired him, I said he's gonna turn them around. But I gave him a couple of years. I said they're gonna get a superstar. He's gonna turn their team around. Shout out to you, Leon Rose, as well. He's an executive. He works like player personnel for the Knicks, I believe. So a lot of people trust Leon Rose. A lot of players trust Leon Rose. So that kind of makes up for James Dolan and his antics. But anyway, I digress. So Tom Thibodeau is a guy that I love him. Either you love him or you don't like him. I'm not going to say hate is such a strong word. Either you love him or you don't like him. I love Tibbs, but he's going to get some votes because ESPN picked the Knicks to finish 29th. They are 4th in the East. They're playing Atlanta in the first round. My pick, always have a soft spot in my heart, Monty Williams. He used to coach for Oklahoma City Thunder. He lost his family in OKC through a car crash. He took some years off, came back. Another coach, they got another player to come play for him, Chris Paul. He coached Chris Paul when Chris Paul was a rookie, I believe, with the New Orleans Hornets at the time. Then they came they came to OKC for a year because of Hurricane Katrina, and Chris Paul was here for a year. And of course, they moved back to New Orleans. So Monty Williams will always have a soft spot in my heart. People had Phoenix in the playoffs, but they did not have Phoenix as a number 2 seed in the West. And they drew the Lakers due to injuries and things like that. So that should be a pretty great series, Chris Paul against LeBron James. But Monty Williams is a guy that Devin Booker put his trust in. James Jones put his trust in. He's also up probably for Executive of the Year. Him, Sean Marks. I believe it's going to be a race between him and Sean Marks, in my opinion, for Executive of the Year. But we'll see about that. Monty Williams is just a guy you just love to play for. They trust him. Those young guns trust him. When you're a coach, right, and you have a young team and you have a young up-and-coming superstar in Devin Booker, that's not easy to coach. That can be very rocky to coach. I think that in order for Sacramento to be successful, they need to get somebody respectable in Sacramento to help coach up De'Aaron Fox, because De'Aaron Fox could be that superstar. And you saw flashes and potential from De'Aaron Fox this season. But Devin Booker said he was tired of losing. He said he was tired of not making the playoffs. He said that when they were playing pickup basketball, I think it was 2 summers ago, they get to the bubble and they ran the bubble 8-0. He hit the epic shot against the Clippers, became a meme. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns social department. They do a great job. I don't know who their social department is. They do a great job. The Phoenix Mercury, their social department does a great job as well. I always give them a shout out. But I told people that the Phoenix Suns would ride that momentum into the season. People are like, no, they won't. They'll finish top 4 in the West, probably 5. I think I probably had them 4 or 5, not number 2. So Monty Williams will probably win that award because of the turnaround. You did get Jay Crowder. You did get Torrey Craig. You did get Chris Paul. You got DeAndre Ayton. If he can play consistently, I'm looking forward to that. You got Kaminsky, Cam Johnson. Cam Payne is playing very, very, very well. Mikal Bridges, a 3-and-D guy. He might make an all-defensive team. Mikal Bridges might. So those pieces in Phoenix just fit together. They play defense very well. They shoot the ball pretty well. The inside presence bothers me a little bit, but I want to see DeAndre Ayton be more aggressive on that end. But Monty Williams is my pick. So I got Monty Williams, Derrick Rose, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, LaMelo Ball, and the Joker. Those are my picks, guys. All right. Michael said Ball should win it. Yeah, Ball's going to win it. I believe LaMelo Ball will win it. I think those 5 weeks weren't that bad to miss. I think if he would have missed 7 or 8 weeks, then he probably wouldn't have won it. But I think he will win it. I think he did enough while he was playing to win it. But shout out to you, Michael. They're going on in about an hour from now. Him and Connie are going on Backstop Banter. Connie and Michael will be ranting about Tony La Russa and his antics. Whew. That was a great show, guys. That was a great show. Before I get out of here, I want to shout out the sponsors. Check out mybookie.ag. Use the code USN100 to double your first deposit. Teespring.com/store/unwrapped. I got my ladies' first gear here. All the live lineup has gear. Backstop Banter has gear as well. They have the t-shirts and the face mask. Of course, Connie's show with Josh Gen Z. I was on that show this Monday. They have gear as well. So check out teespring.com/stores/unwrapped. Join the Patreon. Become part of the Patreon. $1 a month, you become a fan, general support. $5 a month, you become part of the family. 10% off their Teespring shop. 24/7 access to the Discord chat. $10 a month, become VIP. 20% off their Teespring shop. 24/7 access to the Discord chat, and you get put in a running for whatever Perry feels like giving away. So it's been signed memorabilia here lately. So check out the Patreon, guys. Patreon.com/unwrapsports. Last but not least, RX Hemp, sore achy muscles, CBD cream made with all natural products. Check out rxhemp.com. Use the code RXHemp/USN to get 10% off of your order. All right, guys, that's it for episode 34 of Ladies First. I'll be back next week with some more WNBA news. We should have some all NBA teams picked by then. We'll talk about that. And then I'm going to start talking about the transfer portal a little bit. Summer League is back. Thank goodness Summer League is back. That's on down the line. The draft is on down the line as well. So that'll be coming up this summer. But it's going to be a lot of WNBA action. A lot of some NBA playoff stuff, not much because I do that on Count the Bucket already. So I don't want to give double information. I'll probably pick something else in the NBA to talk about. But WNBA will be first, and then I'll get into whatever news, football news. I'll try to do some football stuff as well. All right, guys, I'll see you next week.